Brand new from Retevis is an RB27 monoband GMRS HT, Part 95 certified with the Part 95 FCC seal of approval. A 5-watt GMRS HT with dual display. We're going to take a look at it right now.
CQ photo, CQ parked on the air, Kilo Charlie 5, Hotel with Bravo.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Jason. I'm KC5HWB, the ham radio world. My GMRS call sign is WRFK311. And on this channel, we talk about new radios, reviews of radios, and that kind of thing. We do a lot of how-to videos as well. This is an HT that was sent to me by Retevis. They reached out via email. They said, we've got a new GMRS HT. They kept wanting to send me some FRS stuff. They sent me like 5 or 6 different FRS radios, and I'm like, guys, FRS is fine for what it is. There's nothing in the world wrong with it, but there's a lot more interest in GMRS these days than there is in FRS. So finally, they actually sent me a GMRS HT. It has dual display. It boasts 5 watts. It claims 5 watts. We're going to put it on the meter here again in a second. But I want you guys to take a look at this because I found some cool features with it already. If we go over here to the overhead shot, N3ZN key right there. That's a Morse code key. That's not used in GMRS. So this is the box here. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Got your manual, radio. Comes with the antenna on the radio. I'm going to explain that in a second. This is a battery, wall wart plug with a USB-A adapter in it, and a charging cable with a USB-A adapter in it. Now, here's what's really cool. It comes with a charging cradle, which is fine, but it also, and the charging cradle uses these 2 ports right here, which sets down in here like that while it's on the radio. You can't put the, doesn't look like you can put the battery in the cradle without it being on the radio. So you can't have an extra battery sitting here, put it in the cradle without it being on the radio. That's something important to remember. A lot of these batteries you will be able to add to you'll be able to put a spare battery in the cradle while you're using a second battery on the radio itself and switch them out when the battery on the radio dies. This one you won't be able to do that with. So this battery capacity is 15 milliamp hour. It says right there, kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can focus that. There we go. That's better right there. So 7.4 volts. Sorry about the shake. Actually, let's do it this way. There we go. 7.4 volts, 15 milliamp hours. That's the battery that comes with it. Here's the coolest part about it. It's got a USB-C charging port right here. So it will charge via the 2 prongs on the back here in the cradle. But if you want to charge a spare battery off of the HT, just use the USB-C charger. It also takes the USB-C charger when you're in the car, so that's a really cool thing there. Down like that. I'm going to put this in here real quick. Step there. It's got the slip-on belt clip attachment, so you don't have to use a screwdriver to screw the belt clip into it. It just kind of pops right on there. Got a pretty good spring in it, which is good. There we go. Right there. Turn it on. You can see the display right there. Let's get this stuff out of the way. All right, so I've actually got 2 of these. Now, 2 things I've noticed about it. The volume. If I turn the volume all the way down, if I turn it all the way down, you cannot hear it. A lot of the times on these Chinese radios, if you turn the volume all the way down as far as it'll go, you can still hear it. It's still very quiet, kind of like that when you can hear the channel. But when you turn the volume all the way up, 32. It is quite loud. Quite loud on the volume being all the way up. So I'm very impressed with this volume knob. You can turn it all the way down without turning it off. And when you see activity, the screen will light up. You see that the screen has gone dark now? If you want to set the radio on the desk or wherever and monitor it, but you need to be quiet in a meeting or something, you'll see the screen light up when there's activity on the channel, and then you can reach over and turn your volume up. Okay, so it's got, let's see. Let's go back here. It's got these DIY channels in here. Okay, there's channel 1. Channel 1, and it says CT on the screen right there. So CT is the CT CSS tone. You can change that in the menu. Receive code. Wide, narrow. transmit code off.
Confirm.
Now when we transmit WRFK311, you see the CT goes away in the transmit, but it's still receiving the code. A lot of these will only receive and it won't transmit code, so that's a different thing about it right there. We can turn that off.
Confirm.
And now it's off both ways. WRFK311 testing on a new HT. Just like that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7,
1 through 7 are GMRS channels.
18, 14, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 8, 9, 20, 21, 22, 20, 20.
Some of these channels are shared with FRS. Some of them are GMRS only.
20, 22,
And then after 22,
23,
we get to repeater channels, which are pre-offset.
20, 20, 20, 20, 28, 29, 30, 31, 30.
So there's 8 of those channels, 8 repeater channels that are programmed for the 462 plus 5 offset.
31.
And then these DIY channels here.
30, 30, 42.
12,
40,
22 DIY channels, 24.
54.
24 DIY channels. Now, what are DIY channels? Good question. If you look at the manual here, it doesn't really say what DIY channels are. It lists channels 1 through 30. Of course, channels 1 through 22 are the simplex channels, and then channels 23 through 30 are the repeater channels we just looked at. And you can see that because channel 23 is 467 550 on transmit, and it's 462 550 on receive. If you look at transmit and receive on the first 22 channels, the frequencies are the same. If you look at transmit and receive on channels 23 through 30, the frequencies are different by an offset of 5 megahertz. And that is because they are repeater channels made for local repeaters in your area that you can change. Of course, you can set the different subaudible tones on it for CTCSS right here. This is what they're set to by default. These are all set, these digital, the D032N are digital tones. The numbers are CTCSS analog tones. So you can set all that. But it doesn't really say in the manual what a DIY channel is. So we're going to go to the internet. After doing a touch of research and consulting the manual, which is not, I mean, the manual tells you what you need to know, but it doesn't answer every detailed question about the radio. So there's nothing that I have found on YouTube, and I didn't do an extensive search on YouTube, but I searched By Two-Way Radio's website, I searched YouTube, and I searched the manual, and nothing about DIY channels. So what I did find is that a lot of these channels, these channel 1 channels that I just showed a moment ago, have pre-programmed CTCSS. You saw me turn that first one off, okay? So it has CTCSS right here. You see the CT in the top, okay? You can go AB right there. AB switches between the top and the bottom band.
3, 4, 5.
So channel 5, press this button right here, get to the top band. Press this button again, get to the bottom band. That's the AB button. The monitor button goes to the NOAA weather channels, so you can do that. And then the menu goes into the menu. Now, one thing I will notice, or one thing I will state about this, is that
4, 5, menu.
the menu only has 14 menus. If you see right there, menu 01 is RX code, and you go back down, 14 is wide narrow. So it has 14 menu options, which if you've watched any of my videos about the radios I generally review and test, the 14 menus is a very small number. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad. This is made to be a simple, easy to use, no frills radio, which is great. It's great. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So if you just want a radio to pick up and use to transmit, this might be the radio for you. But if, for what I can tell, if we go back here and I go all the way back down to
50,
DIY and then go into the menu here, you'll see the RX code and the TX code are both off. Right there. So what I can surmise by that is, again, I couldn't really find anything online, but what I can basically tell you is that channels 1 through 22, which are your typical GMRS channels that are some are shared with FRS, come with preset CTCSS and DCS tones the logic of which is baffling. Some tones on some frequencies, some of them are CTSS analog, some of them are DCS digital. There seems to be no rhyme or reason as to which tones are programmed with which channel. I don't know. Even the repeater channels are pre-programmed with tones. So you're going to have to go and take all of that off or just change them depending on your unique situation in your location. But the DIY channels have none of that. They have no tones at all. So I guess they mean for that to be DIY, do it yourself, program your own tones in there. Okay. Be nice if they put that in the manual or kind of explain that. Oh, well. You know what? You've got options. You've got options. Options is not a bad thing. So you've got options with this radio. It is like I said, it is a very, I won't say bottom of the line, it's a very basic radio. It's a very basic radio. Not many bells and whistles to it. A very simple display, which you can see right here. Let's go through the menus. So 1 is RX tone, 2 is receive tone. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. 1 is RX tone, which is receive. 2 is TX tone, which is transmit. 3 is the squelch level. You can set the squelch. You can light key.
Backlight selection.
Backlight on. Okay, so you can turn it completely off. You can turn it on, which will run down your battery faster. Or you can turn it to key, which means it'll only come on when you push a button on the radio.
Confirm.
Good. Beep on or off.
Beep prompt. Confirm.
So there's no beep now. You can't hear the beep when I'm going through the menus anymore. I usually turn the beep off anyway. It's got a Vox setting, voice operation. It's got TDR,
Dual standby.
which is dual standby. So now it'll listen to both channels at the same time.
Menu.
With dual standby
Dual
turned
standby.
off,
Confirm.
it sees both channels at the same time, but it won't necessarily listen to both of these at the same time. So that's something for dual standby.
Menu.
Okay, TDR, save, timeout timer is 180 seconds, busy channel lockout, ring. I guess you can maybe ring another radio for a notification. Voice is English. You can
Voice
change that.
prompt.
Chinese and off. You can turn the voice prompt off. Have it no language at all.
Confirm.
English, reset is okay. And wide, narrow
Channel bandwidth.
wide and narrow channel bandwidths depending on which one you use. So that's a very easy, no frills solution radio for a menu system, which I think is a very good thing for someone who's just getting into GMRS, or maybe, the GMRS license covers your entire family. Maybe these would be a really good option to give to your kids. One thing I did not like, and let me put the overhead back on real quick. One thing I did not like, and I kind of foobarred it a little bit. So this right here, that is a set screw in the antenna. Okay, so the set screw is tightened down to keep you from twisting the antenna off. I went ahead and twisted this antenna off anyway, and it's a little bit tight, but it's not too bad. I thought I boogered up the threads on the SMA base on the connector, but it doesn't look like I did. There might be a little bit of metal shavings that have come off of that. Oh well, it is what it is. But I thought the set screw idea was not a bad idea, specifically in and of itself. It's not something I'm used to seeing on the radio. Most of these antennas don't have set screws on them. What I really didn't like about it is the fact that it didn't come with a set screw tool. It didn't come with a little Allen wrench to loosen the antenna. I'm like, if you're going to put a set screw on your antenna, include an Allen wrench in the box. Shouldn't be that hard to do. Just a little Allen wrench key to loosen the antenna and take it off correctly. Let's put this on the meter and see what happens with it. I'm on channel 16, which I'm told is the kind of the meeting channel for camping, overlanding, off-roading, whatnot. Never heard anyone on that channel myself, but I don't have my mobile radio installed in the truck yet. That's something I'm working on. You guys will see that in an upcoming video. I am using the MFJ 849 digital watt and power meter. So you can find a link to that in the description below. MFJ is a company that makes ham radio accessories and meters and amplifiers, etc. And they make some really good stuff for this type of testing. So channel 16 is where we're on. We're on the top band right there. A little bit of glare in the screen. Okay, I'm going to key it up. And I'm only getting about 3.2 watts out of it. 3.2 watts. WRFK 311. We're going into a dummy load right now. Channel 10 should be one of the low power channels. And that's keyed up right there. And you can see it's only running about half a watt. One thing about the menu that we just went through that I just now noticed really is the fact that there's no way to set the power. There's no TXP menu. There's no power menu. So the radio sets the power for you. It's going to give you the highest power allowable on that frequency. Or at least that's what it's supposed to do. Now, it's supposed to do more than the highest power allowable on channel 10, I believe, is 2 watts. That's an FRS, that's a shared FRS channel. So it's only giving us a half a watt on... It only gives us a half watt on channel 10, but it's giving us about 3.2 watts on channel 16. So, not quite the 5 watts it advertises. I watched a couple of other videos on YouTube, and I saw that most of them were doing power tests that were getting about 3.8 or 3.9 watts. So this is more of like a 3 to 4 watt radio than it is a 5 watt radio. Now, is 1 to 2 watts that going to make that much difference in the application where this is going to be used? No. No, you're not going to be able to tell very much difference between 3 and 4 watts or between 4 and 5 watts. It's pretty common for UHF handheld radios, which the GMRS band is in the UHF band. It's between 300 and 3,000 megahertz. So 462 megahertz falls into that section of bands, which is called UHF or ultra high frequencies. A 4 watt radio on a UHF band is actually pretty common. A lot of your dual band radios and ham radios will advertise 5 watts on the VHF band on around the 144 megahertz range and 4 watts on the UHF band, which is around the 440 megahertz range for ham radio. So the fact that a GMRS radio, which is around 462 megahertz, only does 4 watts is not that big of a deal. It's actually kind of common. This radio advertises 5 watts, but it's only doing 3.2 on my meter. Now, meters can vary. Some meters you might put it on, you might get 3.5 or 4 watts. You might even get almost 5 watts out of different meters. It can vary due to meters, due to the type of coax you use. I'm using some really high quality coax, so that's not my problem. And I've done other tests on this meter for dozens of radios that have turned out very well. So I'm pretty confident that this unit I have in my hands right now is only transmitting about 3.2 watts. But once again, it's not going to make that big of a difference between 3.2 and a full 5 watts on a GMRS HT until you get really far out from one another, and then it's going to get scratchy. And at that point, if you're going to talk far away, put a mobile radio in your vehicle. So this is a great HT for close quarters connection. Around the campsite, around in an expo, you're going to an overlanding expo, you're going out camping together with several vehicles, and you want to talk to each other in an immediate area, this is going to work very well, and the price point certainly reflects that type of features. So put a comment below. Let me know what you think about this radio. If it's something you think about picking up, there's a link in the description below that'll take you to a website where you can read more about it and purchase it should this be something that you're interested in. Thank you very much for watching today, and I hope to hear you on the air. Today's comment of the week, which I'm going to start putting these in some videos, says, cheap Chinese radios, question mark, question mark, question mark. The buyer is lucky if the darn things transmit at all. And my response to him, which they've yet to reply to, was, what type of smartphone are you using right now? Because I guarantee that was also built in China.